What is going on, everyone? DTB Podcaster is back, and I have been struggling to find what I wanted to talk about, and now I know what I want to talk about. This isn't brony stuff in particular, actually not at all. It's about digital media and physical media. I'm mainly talking about music, and this could also be, could also be as well as, videos. Could also be the same as videos, I'm sorry. But, let's get into it. So, I'm going to talk about why I love and I don't love physical and digital media. Now, I'm going to start off with digital media. Digital media, literally, I'm not going to go in too much depth on it and background and story. I'm just going to tell you why I like it. Now, the reason why I like digital media is because Now, I know back in the day, you had to burn your CDs to your computers, and then, you had to put them on your MP3 players. And, Apple, you had to do the same thing, I believe. And then, they made the iPod Touch, which was also connected to the iTunes. And then you still had to, plug your iPod up to get iPod up to the computer in order to boot it up and start it up and download the software that it needs to for you to in order to play your iPod. But now you pretty much get it right out of the box, and you are able to just set it up and get on iTunes now. I know, I can't remember when the iPod started doing that. I know iPhones, I think, have always been that way. I don't know. Because the last time I had, my first iPhone I ever had was an iPhone 4S. And the first iPod I ever had was an iPod 3. No camera at all. Low resolution on the screen. Now, I remember when I got an iPod 4, that was a major game changer right there. That was awesome. I was like, man, the clarity of this screen, I don't even really see the pixels. It went from 480p to 720p, maybe 1080, but that was a big jump in the resolution of the screen. But when I had an iPod Touch, I thought it was awesome. All my digital stuff was up there. I could download music, movies, anything. I didn't really need CDs anymore. Everything. You could download apps that you could download free music from YouTube or whatever. And then, of course, Apple would take that down because, that you couldn't do that. And you could download podcasts or whatever. Pretty much, everything was in the palm of your hand. Now, I've been on a kick of, finding cassette tapes and vinyl records. Now, the only reason I would say anyone gets vinyl or, physical media now, cassette tapes or whatever, they want that vintage, nostalgic feel like they did back, years ago. I mean, don't get me wrong. Digital stuff is awesome now, but sometimes you kind of want, that cassette tape, that feel that rattle of the noise, when you open up that cassette tape, oh yeah, and then you put it in the little cassette player, and then you start playing your music. I mean, sure, of course, the quality is going to be a bit on the lower side, but vinyl records, I've heard that they're supposed to be in a higher quality of the sound. But there's nothing like, taking a record, putting it up there, putting the needle, and then, you're starting playing your music on the turntable. It is. Now, I will say that's awesome. Cassette tapes and vinyl records. Now, CDs, the only reason I don't get CDs anymore is mainly this. Cars that I have seen now, and I have a car. I have two cars that do not have CD players in them anymore. It's strictly Bluetooth. And maybe aux port. I think there's aux port on this. Yeah, aux port. And then, you plug your phone up to the car, and you can have Apple CarPlay, I think. And you can get on your GPS or whatever. Now, I will say, back in the day, whenever you had a GPS, I think you had to update the maps over and over. But now, thankfully, with all the technology we have, cell phones practically do everything we've ever wanted. It's got GPS, it's got music, it's got movies, you could buy things on here. Just like, there's so much you can do. It's like a mini portable computer. That's basically what it is. You can call people, you can text them, you can do anything. I mean, seriously, this device in my hand that I'm using right now, I pretty much use this to make videos and stuff and record my voice and all that. But I would say the pros and cons of digital. The pros, if you can download it, because sometimes, internet might be a bit spotty, your internet might go down, you may not have Wi-Fi at your house. So, I mean, if you're at a Walmart, that sometimes I will actually, if I have a device that needs to be connected to Wi-Fi, I'll probably take it to a Walmart. In my area that I live, I don't really have good Wi-Fi. I've looked it up. Most things most services don't go to my area or have like that high of download speed. I don't know. But and I'm mainly referring to this digital media is streaming, because if you stream your music or stream your videos, and sometimes the internet might be down, your service might go out. Let's just say that you're on a trip and you rely heavily on streaming, and let's just say you run through an area that you get like SOS on your phone. Well, now you can't stream anymore, nor can you watch videos. So sometimes it's just best to buy music and download it. Or if your streaming service that you pay for allows you to download to your phone, then go ahead and do that as well. But always download music to your phone. I know it's like, but that takes up extra memory. Honestly, it's worth it. I've got a lot of music on my phone that I've downloaded, and like whenever there's some spotty areas, I turn on the phone and I'm like blasting the music, like, yeah, there we go. Now, the only reason I do like physical media is like whenever I get home, I will put a cassette tape on, or I will put a vinyl record on. CDs, I don't really care, because why would I waste money on a CD that I already I have like the music on my cell phone and I can play it through my Bluetooth speaker. But vinyl records, they just don't get me wrong, a normal black vinyl record looks good. It looks very vintage, but you gotta give it to to like, sometimes they have like a splatter look or a clear look or a transparent look. I mean, like, they look awesome. Like the new colored look that they've got going on, because before it was always black vinyl records, and then they're like, hey, let's spice things up and add colors, and like let's add like orange and yellow, mash them together, make like a weird, like, because the one I'm getting, it's like a red, like a white and pink in there. It looks like an eyeball. It's from the Aquabats. And then they got, it's like an orange and a lighter yellow or orange or something. Like, the colors on there just make me go, wow, this looks awesome. I've got one at home. It's a Minecraft vinyl record. It's a translucent green, and I love it. It has that nice Minecraft feel to it. Though in the video game they're black vinyl records, but still, it's got that nice Minecraft feel to it because it's green, And then I think I've got one record. It's red, and it's awesome. Let's see. I've got an Owl City one. It's a black record, which I'm totally fine with that, and it kind of suits its feel. Let's see. Oh, and I also have a cassette tape from Owl City, Cocoa Moon, which is blue, translucent blue, and I'm like, wow, that's awesome. So they're bringing back cassette tapes. So I've been on a kick of getting vinyl records and cassette tapes. CDs, not so much, because they kind of took out the CDs in like cars. Now, if my car did have a CD, I would be buying CDs all day. And you're probably thinking, well, why not just spend the money on your phone? Well, I don't know. There's just something about CDs that I would buy them more if I had it in my car. But it's fine. It's cool. I guess I mainly just do digital and cassette tapes and vinyls when I can. But I'm gonna do the old pros and cons of physical media. Now, if they reprint them, pretty much like re-release them in stores, and they're like $30, $35. I'm talking about vinyl records here, because I've rarely seen any cassette tapes that they remade. But I feel like they're making a comeback, because the Guardians of the Galaxy, they had them on cassette tape, and they're only like $20 or something like that, which is not a bad price. I'm not gonna lie, I would spend $20 on a cassette tape like that if I had it here right now. Buying it online, I don't know. I know I bought Owl City cassette tape online, but that's because I don't want his to run out. That's because he's like I would say indie, but now I feel like he's made a name. He was even in he made Disney music for Disney, like in Wreck-It Ralph. I know I'm going on. So the reason why I would say physical media is pros and cons. Pros, you got that nostalgic feel, you got that classic feel, and it looks awesome, looks very appealing. And then you got your cassette tapes, and it brings me back to the 90s, early 2000s, whenever I had it when I was a kid. It was awesome. But the cons, if you want to take it with you, you can't really take it with you on the go. You probably could. You just have to find a Walkman. But vinyl records, you can't really take that on the go. That's more of a house thing. It's more of you play it in the background of your house while you're at home. But cassette tapes, if you got a Walkman or like a cassette tape player, you can take that on the go. You can't really play that in your car because, But CDs, you also can't really play that in your car. You would also still need a portable CD player or, in order to play your music. Now, unless you have a car that does have a CD player in it, then, keep buying the CDs. And my grandparents, they still have a car that has a cassette player in there. And I'm like, wow. Now, if only we can get some cassette players in the new cars, that would be amazing. That would be awesome. But there is this one thing called We Are Rewind. It's a cassette player. It's capable of Bluetooth, so you can connect your Bluetooth headphones to the cassette player. I'm like, that's cool. I've looked at many reviews. They're like, it's a good cassette player, but it's $160, and it's a bit on the pricey side for what it is. But the whole cassette is made out of some kind of metal, which is cool. That's pretty durable, I guess. But it's a little on the pricey side for me, so I'm not going to spend almost $200 on a cassette tape player. So I've got a cheap $30 one or $20 one I got at home. I don't really use it because I've got a turntable with a CD player and a Bluetooth and a cassette tape player that attached to it and everything. It's pretty much like a 4, 5-in-1, and it's got the radio and everything. It's pretty much like it's like a 5-in-1 kind of thing. CDs, cassette, vinyl, Bluetooth, radio, aux port, maybe a 6-in-1. But other than that, if you're looking for a certain album or something on your vinyl or cassette tape, and it's been years or something since they've probably made a re-release or anything, they can be a bit They can be a bit pricey. I'm looking for something from Twisted Sister, and of course Metallica, Ozzy Osbourne, AC/DC. They've got re-releases of their albums on some vinyl records, and they're they're well priced, they're $30 or something like that. And I'm like, I want some Twisted Sister on here. At least, Stay Hungry. The album Stay Hungry. And it's I found the cassette tape for $10 on eBay, which is not bad. which is not bad at all. But it would just be nice to have a re-release of a vinyl record with like some added some color to it to make it like, you know, really stand out, because they've got some new AC/DC vinyl records that have like gold on it. But in conclusion, digital is good for like on the go, like anywhere, and like pretty much anywhere. I mean, when you're at home, I would highly recommend get some physical media to play in the background and support, you know, physical media. Bring back cassette tapes. Vinyl records are already back. I cannot believe how big of a comeback vinyl records. I mean, everywhere you look now is a brand new album from people that are making. I mean, it honestly, I do like it. I do like that they've brought back vinyl records, but cassette tapes are barely making a comeback. I've actually looked on Amazon, and mainly Amazon, and there's a few cassette tapes out there that, you know, that are pretty brand new from like 2020, 24, you know, whatever. But bring back cassette tapes. We want more cassette tapes. I have a new cassette tape. Like I said, it is Owl City, Cocoa Moon. Go check him out. His music is amazing. All of Owl City's music is amazing. Thank you for listening. I mean, this is a big old ramble. So sorry for this. But basically, in conclusion, again, I love my digital media. Like when I'm in my car, I have my Bluetooth connected to my car. It's awesome. And like I can go on YouTube, look up music from there. I can go on iTunes. But whenever I get home, I open up my cassette tapes, my AC/DC, my Metallica, my Owl City, or I bust out the vinyl records. It's just nice to have physical media at home, and it's so nice. It is so nice. And then, like when you're on the go driving, you got your Bluetooth. I am talking over and over again. I am so sorry, but thank you for listening to this. I don't know. See, I don't know if I made any sense. If you made it this far in this video, thank you for listening. Thank you for everything. And we'll probably not make another one anytime soon. Thank you. Bye.